Hello. Today, in our story, we are going to be learning about the 4 different types of slopes. We have a positive slope, a negative slope, a zero slope, and an undefined slope. To help us learn about the 4 different types of slopes, our story is going to be based on Mr. Slope's snowboarding adventure. Let's meet Mr. Slope. Mr. Slope is a shy person, friendly, kind, and open-minded. One day, while camping with his friends were talking about including a snowboarding trip or adding a snowboarding adventure into their trip. Now, Mr. Slope had never been snowboarding before, and he told this to his friends, but his friends encouraged him, and they told him that he could learn, that it was simple, and they all started to give him tips and just tell him what he had to, give him tips and instructions as to what he had to do. And they said that they would be with him all the way and they would help him out, and it was going to turn out to be the best day ever of his life, and he would regret it if he didn't actually try to go snowboarding. So the following day, Mr. Slope prepared for the trip. He got a snowboard, snowshoes, he got snow glasses, and he was really excited to he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait for the next day to go on to the snowboarding trip. Now, while he was going up the mountain, all his friends were chatting and they were talking about what they were going to do. Some of them were showing videos and strips of some of the other tricks that they had tried in the past. And they kept on telling Mr. Slope, that he was not going to be able to do the tricks first time he goes down, but that with practice, he will be able to do it, and all he had to do was just stay firm. And they kept on reminding him of all the different tips that they had given him the day before. So Mr. Slope was really positive, and he was excited to try something new. However, as he went down that mountain, he kept on tumbling and hitting himself. By the time he was mid down that mountain, he didn't even know if he should trying to get on that snowboard again or maybe just, roll all the way down. This had turned into the most negative experience, and it was the worst day of his life. He just couldn't find a moment to finally reach the bottom. When he got to the bottom of the mountain, he was grateful that he had made it out alive. Just a couple of bruises. And he was just thinking of getting back into the cabin, taking a nice warm bath, some painkillers, and sitting by the fire with a nice warm cup of coffee. This snowboarding part was zero fun. He would never try it out again. As he sighed and remembered and just thought about that warm fire, he didn't realize that a cliff was in front of him. And he fell down that cliff. As he fell, he cursed out the worst curse word he could think of. Undefined! Luckily, Mr. Slope made it out alive. He was carried out and taken to a hospital. Now, this silly story, once again, is just to help us remember that we can have a positive slope. Positive slope is always going to be going up when we read it from left to right. And as we continue to read from left to right, a negative slope would be going down. Zero slope has no change. And an undefined slope would be a vertical line. When we look at Mr. Slope's face, we can once again see that positive slope, the negative slope, and then something else is added to this. We see the X with the undefined slope. So this reminds us that the undefined slope is only going to cross the x-axis. And the equation is going to be x is equal to a constant number. For the zero slope, we can see the y underneath his shin, or representing his chin. And that reminds us that a zero slope is only going to cross the y-axis, and the equation would be y is equal to a constant. My resources or the ideas are originated from Slope Dude and from Mr. Speller's math tutorials as to how to draw Mr. Slope. I combined both of the stories to create this one. The hardest things about this was just creating the drawings. It was not until after I created these drawings with the Canva tools that I realized that I could have created the drawings using my iPad and then just upload those drawings onto Canva. One of the other obstacles that I encountered was just finding stories that would relate to the mathematical concepts that I'm teaching in class.